I'm not sure whether I'm gonna make a video out of this or I'm not gonna make a video out of this. I'm also not sure if this is gonna be here or it's not gonna be here. The stuff that you see right here, exactly the way you see it, I have published over 10 hours ago. Actually, over 12 hours ago, I believe, right? This stuff is very, very serious, actually. Very, very bad stuff about Kash Patel. This stuff can really not allow you to go past anything. This was published before midnight, alright? This stuff here, all this stuff that you see here was published before midnight. So it says here 11:02 p.m. and it says here 11:21 p.m. All right, so this is well over 13 hours ago. And when I Googled today about, oh, what exactly is this? Well, it's like this. It's a good description about what happened to me. And what's missing is what took place against me before I was fired from the WACKENHUT Corporation in 2001. That's the stuff that's missing. That's what's gonna get Kash Patel even more in trouble, and the whole WACKENHUT Corporation. FBI, literally. This is the stuff that happened. The WACKENHUT determined, based on torture in which WACKENHUT involved itself, and it's something I have not even spoken about yet, what went on with the WACKENHUT, that I am mentally ill. And Barack Obama was extremely stimulated in destroying me during this employment at WACKENHUT, together with the Kash Patel, with the very young Kash Patel, whom he in charged. Actually, he deputized one to become his replacement. Kash Patel was going to replace Barack Obama. This was his direct replacement. It was time when Kash Patel was at the university, and the university he was involved in a lot of terrorist activities. As a side job, his side job was to destroy me. And WACKENHUT Corporation, where I was employed as a security officer, assisted Barack Obama, Kash Patel, best of their abilities. When I say Kash Patel and Barack Obama, I don't mean exactly Kash Patel and Barack Obama. These are totally illegal criminal activities. These people were involved during my employment at WACKENHUT Corporation, where they would have employees torture me. I would pull very long hours and would go home for sleep just to find myself at work, drugged up, tortured, returned back home, and would have to report myself again for work. This kind of stuff went on to meet workers who at times would also pull long hours and who were just involved in torture. Very bad stuff went on. That's how they wanted to get rid of me, and it did not work. Then they pulled some other stuff on me, fired me after 2 years at a company. I was fired. I was thrown out on the street. A supervisor even threw the gun on the I don't know how to say that, shelf, I don't know, where I worked at the post. He threw the radio at me, practically slided the radio into me, demanded for me to replace him a battery in a very rude way. After I declined, this guy was armed. After I declined changing him a battery, he escalated this into incident, based on which I was fired. I was wrongfully accused of arriving late at work through completely insane traffic to the post where they had distance. Stuff I have wrote about on the blog and had nothing to do with reality. That's how I was fired from the WACKENHUT Corporation after 2 years. Parallel to the torture these people were engaged in, MK torture. And so in 2002, this guy finished his university, but as soon as I was thrown out of the WACKENHUT Corporation, torture at WACKENHUT headquarters in a Blue Lagoon, that's near the airport, it did not end. It did not end. These people claimed me that I was mentally ill. And what exactly is the definition of the mental illness? The definition of the mental illness is you get tortured and joked up, tortured, and you promise perpetrators revenge, retaliation, even death. Depends what kind of torture goes on. And these people are ex-military personnel, these people are ex-police officers. You can be assured that the torture that went on at WACKENHUT Corporation, absolutely not with everybody, but those other people that supposedly were on my side, they did nothing to inform authorities about it, actually contact me to have this stuff stopped. They figure out that once I was fired in a completely criminal, illegal way, that I would come back to the headquarters and do the incident over there if they would exercise more violence against me at the headquarters once I was fired. So the violence went on in this parking lot. Now they do have cameras in the back of the building. They would not even exercise violence. That's interesting. They will not exercise the violence in the back of the building. Wherever they have the cameras, they would not exercise violence. That's what I like about this stuff. Supposedly they did not have cameras. Yeah, I get it now. They were doing the stuff to not only, that's what they claim me, that they did not have cameras and so on. So I guess they were instructing me they claimed they have the cameras in the back of the building, etc., but in a parking lot that they don't have them. That's what they told me. That's probably because, and I did not even pay attention to, you can see the cameras in the back of the building or something like that. I have no idea. And based on the violence they did to me, they believe I'm going to come back and it's going to be incident, arrested, etc., etc., that kind of stuff. Who the hell was involved in this stuff? And this stuff was involved every employee at WACKENHUT Corporation. Individuals that fired me became even more physically aggressive, directly aggressive. Talking about his name, I think, is De La Rosa, and the Cuban guy who was involved in the incident. We're gonna find out what his name is. That's okay. They have pack of people that engaged in a physical violence, and another individual, say, whom they possibly lured into it. Might have bait him. Okay, bait is a proper term. Was Kash Patel, who was caught literally on the cameras. That's what they boasted. It's a big success about how he was caught on the cameras. They video recorded him, and FBI had a facility right next to this one, a small facility supposedly for which Barack Obama appears did not know. The thing is, the FBI was also employed inside of the WACKENHUT Corporation. They were doing a job inside of WACKENHUT. And you would say, how the hell would they do that? Because the agents they were using, they had computers, they have everything they needed for the work, and yes, they would find themselves in the area of the WACKENHUT majors, where the majors are basically the people that are connected to troubleshooters for the WACKENHUT, basically people, supervisors, the overviewers that take care of the posts, that anything that happened to whatever post is related to them, so they can diffuse the problems. That's what they call majors at the WACKENHUT. People like this, they call them majors. And amongst them, you would also have FBI officers sitting, not always, here and then, working right next to them, independent of the task. But they would literally come to the WACKENHUT Corporation to do the work. WACKENHUT would allow them to stop by and do the stuff. They really appreciated them. I was not the only person who was fired, and based on what I heard from WACKENHUT employees, when they tortured me at work locations where I would be delivered after I would leave home, I would do extremely long hours, and I would go home and I would simply find myself again at work, tortured by my co-workers. They boasted proudly about how I'm not the only one. The rate of success of destroying people was 100%. It was others before me, they destroyed this, and so on and so forth. So iSims was never really considered as valiant WACKENHUT worker or anything like that, as somebody who was building a career out there, but just like some kind of outsider that was out there to be destroyed, basically through employment, basically ripped apart. I don't know how much they were successful at that. My goal was not WACKENHUT. My goal was to become a law enforcement officer. I was not interested in WACKENHUT. WACKENHUT, in my eyes, was just a security company with a little bit better paid job. What I really wanted was to become a police officer. I was just basically doing my time. You know, it's like you go to the prison, like you go to the jail, and you have to do your time before you get out. That's how I saw the WACKENHUT is. I saw these low-paid jobs as something that is just on my way to a real career where I can actually take off and do the stuff like I wanted, basically, life to be, you know. And so Miami-Dade, I also submitted applications to FBI and to CIA. I passed examinations for law enforcement, for correctional officers, everything. They got the alibi through, once I was fired, Miami-Dade Police Department, I did not finish. with North Miami Beach, with North Miami, with all these police departments. There were some police departments I did not apply for work. There was really crazy people involved in this stuff. There was like a police department in shit. There's some actually really rich Latino location in Miami area. Actually, it's a part of Miami, and these idiots figure out that I was discriminating against them because I did not apply for a police officer there. And that's a like really wealthy Latino location. That's Coral Gables. Oh, what the fuck, I mean. Why I did not apply in a Coral Gables? Simply because my Spanish was not good enough. And I didn't want to get myself in a situation which is actually, I completely, how can I say, I undermined myself. My Spanish was good. When compared to the white cops, to Americans, my Spanish was better than the Spanish of Americans. They did not learn Spanish. I already spoke Spanish. But the thing is, I was scared that I'm not going to be capable to do the job. How can I say? Whatever job I when it comes to police and stuff, that I wanted is what I was overqualified. I always would only go for whatever I would be overqualified. I would never go for less than qualified or for whatever I was qualified. And that's a big mistake. Because in the U.S. it's like this, that people apply for something and then they build their career, you know. But because my life was like this, that even for the stuff I was qualified, they always turned sour, overqualified. They make problems out of it. I was really, really afraid I would screw up as a law enforcement officer, as a police officer, and could not do the job. So this was the reason why I did not apply to Coral Gables. They figure out that it has something to do with my not liking Spanish people, which is fucking insane. It doesn't matter. This idiot De La Rosa, who was involved in firing me, and the individual who was his name I think was Carvalho, in an incident, final incident. There were they were both Hispanics, and they were sure that I did not like Hispanic people, which is fucking insane. Really, really crazy. I mean, I had Hispanic girlfriends and stuff like that. I don't know what happened with these people at WACKENHUT. They were really crazy. Really, really absolutely made no sense. But it did make sense here when they started to torture me at the headquarters. Both of them were involved in it, claiming me that I'm mentally ill. And they started to talk all kinds of shit that I could come back and apply and this and that, and reapply and so on after I was fired and so on, which I absolutely would not do. I did. Once they changed the name of the company into, the name of the company is now G4 or whatever, then I did, because they also told me they got rid of the people that did bad stuff to me. So this was one of the reasons why they claim me during MK Ultra that they changed people, it's different people and so on. And the only thing these people wanted is an incident. Torture me around the building, inside of the building, physically engaged in torture, travel to Slovenia. I was extremely unhappy about this stuff. With Kash Patel on the picture, obviously with the FBI on the picture, just as I explained here on this. This is a police report, what you see here. Except that this was not done for obvious reasons in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, and Kash Patel could not go on anymore with the torture at this headquarters past 2006, because he was actually advised that he was caught on a camera torturing me at this location here. You know, they translated me, Kash Patel is involved into torture at this location as a form of assistance to me on how they're gonna bust Barack Obama, etc., etc., etc. And that's not exactly what it was. Please keep in mind, in 2006 I left to Europe, and I no longer was in the United States of America. I just realized yesterday when I was writing this stuff, I did not realize this. And I did not realize this because once I immigrated to the United States, to Slovenia, back to Slovenia, for the first time also, is when I arrived to Slovenia after 11 and a half years, I was hijacked right back to America. And so you had, this was so intensive, it was so much of this stuff that it didn't even come to my mind that these people no longer could portray me in a sense of mental illness if incident was to take a place at WACKENHUT Corporation, simply because I was no longer in America. You see? So that's how the torture, this intensive torture from WACKENHUT, where I was fired, ended in 2006. I was still delivered to WACKENHUT, and the WACKENHUT people would still come to Slovenia, claim that they're out there to help me, etc., etc. This was absolutely no help. This could easily result in a very serious, me being arrested, basically, get a criminal record through, because they have employees. They have employees who simply they have employees that, you know, I don't know. It's all kinds of employees. It's all kinds of people. My co-workers, some of the co-workers did drugs. My co-workers, some of my co-workers did have a criminal record in the past. If you do have a military background, whatever background, law enforcement background, it's not over for you when it comes to WACKENHUT. You can still get a job. This is for the people that, you know, I'm not going to go into it. It's for all kinds of people. They have good and they have bad people. Very, 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 very failed situation for Kash Patel, for whom I have suggested he will be arrested one of these days. Where have I indicated this stuff here? Arrested. I did not indicate it here. Obviously, I posted another. No, this is actually impossible. I did not. It must be done here in the picture that I did. Yes, of course I want this guy arrested. Yes, of course, of course. The only thing I would say is, you guys are fucking crazy. If you think this guy's not going to be arrested, if you think you will be capable to maintain, see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing through this degree of violence against me, that I will have no access to police, you're wrong about it. If you think Ursula von der Leyen, European Union Commission, will continue with FBI, you guys are going to continue with this, you're wrong about it. At one point in time, You will not be capable to maintain this. This guy's going to be handcuffed. And I'm not interested in any kind of Russia gate and whatever kind of gate and China in New Zealand. I don't care about any of this stuff. This is the stuff that was involved in MK Ultra, is the stuff that Kash Patel prepared. Not Kash Patel. No, not Kash Patel. But FBI directors prepared for Kash Patel. Kash Patel was like a baby for these FBI directors, previous FBI directors. They groomed him to become at least CIA executive, FBI executive. I told you this was the guy that's supposed to replace Barack Obama. As simple as this. They grew him like a baby. Yeah, I give you the whole background how they make the contract with one another. This is America. When it comes to America, you know, this guy here, you can see what he is. You can see what America did to me, how they view things as, how they do the stuff. So we talk a lot about a constitution these days with Kash Patel and laws and all kinds of stuff that they had nothing to do with it. America is very, very unconstitutional country. America, all through its voice in the Constitution, etc., is extremely lawless country. And the Supreme Court, the courts they have, are rather a disgrace for the human race, not for America. America is a big lie. I find it bizarre today, truly bizarre, that it's a bomb. Internet is bombed with with stuff like you see here. It says here, Kash Patel, utter nonsense, shut up, FBI director. It's Times of India. People from India were extremely concerned for Kash Patel. Honestly, I don't like you guys. You were extremely concerned for Kash Patel inside of this home, inside of this house here in the city of the Novo Mesto. I think you guys are extremely racist. I think that you're extremists, and you're extremely racist. Ethnically, I would say, like nationalists, that you are extremes. And in your extremism, you have forgotten on a lot of issues. In whose home you were, how this individual behaved, and what rights really pertain to you as far as your conduct in front of me during MK Ultra. I am white, but I am not less worthy than you are. The way your criminal conduct was, you made absolutely impression on me about rapists. You know what a rape is? It's like you think you can do the stuff, very wrong, extremely criminal stuff, simply because you are from India. And India is a big country, and obviously that you sensed that as a Slovenian, I was not even a Slovenian. And so therefore you granted yourself all the rights to do basically the stuff I don't like to talk about, because it's this stuff here. I really don't like you guys. I really don't like you. I really don't like you. I think that you're rotten, corrupt people down in India that you have a whole lot to do with it, you know, in this whole thing. Not everybody was like this. I also met really good people from India, that is true. There were also good people from India, that I have to say this. But you guys that were implicated in this Kash Patel business, also into this stuff. And I did described to you about what happened with a plane crash in India. Some of you were fucking insane, fucking crazy people. When it comes to government, to the Indian government, people, they're thrilled, excited if they can get their individual anywhere in the world in the government. And they are thrilled, excited about it because for Indian people, the MK Ultra highway of death became the issue which they hang on to desperately, I don't know, to keep in touch with leadership of whatever country, I should say countries, and through that pathetic situation depict themselves as an option, as a valiant people, as they like this kind of filthy, disgusting stuff, because it seems like that in real life cannot, accomplish the same thing. So this is why this shit is so attractive, this is why this disgusting shit is so attractive, so important, so luring for these people. That's why they get so addicted to it. They don't give a fuck about the human rights, etc., etc. Today I see that utter nonsense, shut up. This stuff here was involved in MK Ultra. Kash Patel did have this stuff going on. He did talk to me about titles of the videos that will be released in order to counter my claims. Now the thing about it is that this individual, Kash Patel, with his supporters from India, he released this video not 1 hour ago, as it indicates right there. This video was already released before I posted this news here, So he had a lot of this stuff going on, Kash Patel, because of a lot of stuff, a lot of crime he was involved. He was involved in Mount Everest of crime. And he knew that I will continue to release the stuff about Kash Patel. And I did. If you Google this stuff here, just a little bit earlier here, I spoke about his girlfriend. This was on the August the 1st. And so this stuff here, titled as a shut up and so on, this is, how can I say, I don't know if this has anything to do with the utter nonsense, shut up, etc., etc. I have no idea about this stuff. This shit is, I don't know how many hours long.
You're in, what your job is, where you come from, how much money you make.
Oh, this, so they continue with this stuff. We're going to get to this stuff. I don't know if I did. Did I actually copy-pasted the news about him somewhere? That would be funny to see. Yes, I did, actually. This is a mistake a little bit. Just googling Obama Patel is what I wanted to expose, because he is depicting himself as somebody who have no knowledge of Barack Obama, and Barack Obama designated him literally to replace Barack Obama. At this location, supposedly at WACKENHUT, I buried career of Kash Patel. And so at least FBI was sure that I'm not going to be capable to produce anything. Animals from FBI were sure. I'm not going to even say at FBI, but these directors from FBI, this is... So, you get a lot of nonsense news, how Kash Patel was duped. FBI director, somebody here already is implying on how Kash Patel was duped. People do read this blog. Let's see this here. People do read this blog. Yesterday, there was a lot of people here. So, I don't know what they read. And I get here about unexpected arrest in America 6 hours ago. So this is basically like you would go and you would talk, you would basically go. No. All this stuff that you see right here, this kind of stuff, look at it.
Security advisor and the Secretary of Defense. And
this is like, this goes for hours and hours and hours. This is very, very, very long shots. And again, Yahoo, look at that. How Kash Patel was duped. Of course, they are not relating to the stuff that I described right here, where I described that Kash Patel was duped. Kash Patel was nothing duped. You're not supposed to do the stuff like this, period. It's a simple thing. And that then you have some other stuff here, and you have here Joe Biden. So what they're doing is they're portraying, ET Now. You ever heard about ET Now? I never heard of ET Now. When you have this kind of ET Now, and what is this here? Absolutely Times of India. When you have this kind of stuff going on, with this kind of titles, you can be sure it's not to get Kash Patel arrested, but Kash Patel learned about how to chameleon. Chameleon is the one that changes the colors and so on. And so this is a very, very, also in a very harassing way, like schizophrenic way, gesturing to me, basically, fuck you, based on MKUltra, prior MKUltra brainwash. Arrested and so on, and you depict me, Joe Biden over there. Joe Biden is a piece of shit. They all were a piece of shit. I couldn't do better. I couldn't do better but to demonstrate this stuff here. This is what this is. This is what this stuff is. I don't know. I'm not angry at Kash Patel, and I'm not angry at Barack Obama, because I know what their role was. I know what they were using them for. These people would not be. The guy would never be a president, and this one here would never be a CIA director. And who knows? Maybe they're preparing him to become a president. The CIA director is already big. That's already big. The poor Kash Patel was dreaming about very, very bad stuff he did. He did a very, very bad stuff. That's extremely, extremely bad stuff. Stuff like this is just, it's extreme. I cannot feel sorry for him. But he was dreaming about how he was already talking to people from India about the possibility of immigrating back to India. And it was again Americans that intervened, asking him about why he plans on escaping to India and so on and stuff like this. This guy was sure even that at one point in time he's going to have to run to India. And I guess that this is what these people at the FBI, the directors, see themselves as heroic. They started to console him. Oh no, Kash, no. Why do you think about like that? He's just a piece of shit. Don't think about him. Don't think about him. Just think about the job. I don't know who was trolling whom. I don't know who was, maybe Kash Patel pretended to be so weak just so that he could get counseling from these FBI directors. But this was an extremely, extremely pathetic chua. Shitty all the way when I consider this stuff. I don't know. Do you guys talking about this FBI directors here? Let's look at these guys here. Do you actually guys go home to your spouses, to your family, and you see yourself maybe as a valiant, maybe you see yourself as a heroes for encouraging your future co-worker that it's not everything so bad and it's not everything so lost. Because you have a feelings for them. I am not going to be picking the sides here because I was clear about it. The only person here yeah, you know, when you're an FBI director, you could do better than that. Really, I don't actually have anything positive to say about these people. I don't understand you. How the fuck can you be so weak? Wicked, not weak. So certain about your racial discrimination. This is a lunacy. This is not racial discrimination or something. Ethnic discrimination. You guys are fucking frogs. I don't even know how I would view you as. I mean, I guess that this is that it works when you do the stuff like this to person. And you considered me as a mentally ill person, and so knowing that I was not mentally ill, but with the upper hand you had over my life completely through forced unemployment, and then will become even a psychiatry, I'm sure that you did not have much to worry about. So I completely understand you. Yes. Mentally ill, whatever. Fine. And we have another one here live. Kash Patel stuns Senate with explosive arrest. We talk a lot about the arrest today. Yes, of course I'm mentally ill. What do you think? Patel is promising he will be vindicated over Russiagate 19 hours ago. That does not pertain to this situation, but it pertains definitely to this situation here. This is about the 24-year-old Alexis Wilkins. Look, this here is really bad stuff. You guys know that I did submit police report to FBI directly because I video recorded myself reporting Kash Patel. This here is extremely bad, this stuff here. I don't know how you can actually keep a guy like this at FBI. I do not understand. It does not get worse than this. This is actually fucking insane. Do you know how many people was arrested because of this issue here? Do you know how many people were eventually arrested? And this is the guy that you were playing with. This is the issue that you were playing with inside of our house. Just as I explained, Kash Patel demanded from me to recognize in him a merchant. It was a Kash Patel who repeatedly called me mentally ill. He was certain that I am mentally ill. He was certain that he sickened me so much, as what Kash Patel stated me, that I will recognize him. And he was pointing me a picture, that I will recognize him. I did dedicate him a video. I did gave him Enter Kash Patel, and you can read about this happy merchant issue, who brought this happy merchant issue, how British royals had a room packed with German stuff from the World War II that nobody had. They were buying all kinds of stuff, confiscating from the British troops whatever they found in Germany during the World War II, and delivering themselves this to the Britain, this kind of collection. Really racist stuff, propaganda, German propaganda. British had this stuff. British royals, I'm talking about. Something that British police supposedly was extremely unhappy about, but you cannot do the stuff like this without the British police. Obviously, FBI like it. So, you know, when you implicated this kind of stuff, I'm not gonna. This doesn't talk about Kash Patel. It talks about those other people up there, British royals and FBI and British police. It talks a lot about that stuff. So then we have it's all the conspiracy theories. So this guy Kash Patel views, just like FBI directors and CIA directors, they view lives through eyes of average American. They view the careers as life through porn. Simple as this. It's like you would be watching porn, and you watch one porn movie and another one and another one and another one and another one. Million of these porn movies. That's how I see this shit as. You guys view Americans, general American public, as schizophrenics, because you believe that you can do absolutely anything to the people, and as long as you blend yourself in whatever is becoming more and more evident out there through somewhat what person is depicting, and you making yourself look valuable to people. That's that picture of Joe Biden worried over there and so on, like you're doing something. What kind of law enforcement the fuck is this? I mean, you're not even covering up for the stuff. You're not even blending yourself into, you know, you're actually bagging, you know. They're gonna be exonerated. Kash Patel and Bongino, you know, conspiracy theories here. This one here up here, it says this is literally to me, this is totally insane. You're solving yourself through creation of some kind of issues before you take the job. You prepare yourself for that job by creation of all kinds of news, lies that you would use to blend yourself into situations, real incidents, real crime that you will be exposed. So basically you cover up. You go to apply for the job, you have to write down if you were ever fired, and you have to state the reasons why you were fired. You have to write down the names of your supervisors and even referral names and with the phone numbers of your co-workers, etc. And the people that can testify that you're a good person and so on. This is the stuff that went on with me in the USA, where I had to handwrite like this thousands of applications, job applications. And you guys instead, what you guys do is you prepare yourself for your careers, but basically covering up the crime that you are involved before assuming duties and responsibilities pertaining to your new position, such as FBI or CIA director. That's fucked up, man. You don't have people like this anywhere in the world. You're truly unique about this stuff. Actually, here in Slovenia you do. So because I'm from Slovenia, because I'm in a situation like this, you are presenting this to American public as a way to go, as acceptable. You guys are scum. You destroyed America. You took America down to hell. Or maybe you just portrayed America for what it is. Maybe it was always like this. I have no idea. Maybe it always was like this. Do you know what you watch here? This here? From the beginning here you have a date of birth and date of death. This was the only person that was not involved in my case. This here was the only person. I have to see this here. It states here that he died in 72. This absolutely did not die in 1972. He absolutely was involved in it. This was the only person of all these people here that you see that was not involved in my case. Now, obviously this one here too. That makes two of them. As for everybody else was involved in my case. 1912. This is actually Joe Biden prided himself about this stuff. That all of them were involved except 2-3 people, whatever. So this here, this is extremely pathetic. The message that I get about your work, you're not being involved in my case, you're being involved in crime against me. I don't see myself as part of you anymore. I have no reason to see myself as part of you. This is not anything. You have nothing to do with me. And I don't have nothing to do with you. You're not a law enforcement. I don't see you as a law enforcement. I'm just a mentally ill guy. That's all I am. And you guys are FBI directors. And that, whether present or past, whatever you might be, and that's the way we're going to keep also through the trial. I see myself now through your eyes, the way you treated me during MK Ultra in respect to mental illness, as you claim. Mentally ill. That's how you guys are going down. Or I'm going down, or whatever. Of course, you are FBI directors, and the suit is what makes a man, finally. Nowhere more, obviously, than at FBI. People get to learn quickly about what FBI is through this case. Portray himself as the right leader of law enforcement agency. Lying media. Media is lying. Media is lying. You guys are lying to cover up. I don't know if I mentioned this stuff already. With explosive arrest allegations. Oh, this is the one here. He will be vindicated over the Russiagate. Yeah, he will be vindicated over the Russiagate. Kash Patel was I am going to give you an example. You're drugged up and you have Kash Patel in front of you claiming, no, I will be, to the FBI director or whoever, he was preparing his future news to release one. No. I will get some credit for that, for the Russiagate, for busting the preventing Trump from doing this. I was the one who did that. This is the way it is during MK Ultra. That's how they do that. And then he goes down into the details that he was the one, and he builds that he prevented whatever paperwork, wherever, to be thrown away, whatever, etc., etc., etc. That's just the way it works. Kash Patel demanded from me to see one as beneficial, and gave a lot of promises in respect to Russia and etc., etc., etc. You know, the Hindu way is just, well, what you do next time at FBI, you make a commercial. Bing, 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 bing. It's a magic Hindu. Da 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 da. We do the Russiagate. We do anything you want. Maybe you can go and you can print the money. Maybe you can demonstrate on this, and maybe you can demonstrate on some more stuff, crazy stuff. A good commercial for the FBI. What can I say? It makes himself very serious about exploiting a global operations to confront some of the most serious threats to the American homeland. Oh yes, we are now so American, boy. We are now so patriotic. It's all about America. America is the greatest land. I don't know why, but so many of you con artists that come to America, you're so proud of America for some reason. Yeah, it works if it goes your way. And if it doesn't go your way, it's anywhere from Allahu Akbar to I'm not going to even get into it. No, 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 no. I do prefer normal people. I do prefer people seeing themselves in America. I do like Indian ladies. I do like Desi ladies. You got it all wrong. It's nothing wrong with you seeing yourself in America. But this is a shitty message. Actually, I don't have a problem with this message because I'm a little bit more straightforward guy. Here. Wow, take on you, I'll fuck you up. I am not so patriotic guy. I'm not so patriotic guy, you know. I actually am realistic. It's called realistic. I don't feel like I have to be part of something that did some disgusting stuff. You know, I gave you all the benefits of what one could give to people who participated in this case and who claim were on my side and etc. So I gave you unprecedented good faith, the best faith any human being ever had in anyone, and you know you did not deserve one. But you somehow just couldn't go past yourself, and you gave yourself a shot. I was mentally ill. I was mentally ill because I religiously stick to beliefs that you are about something more than what I stated in this video. And I was wrong. I was proven wrong. But, you know, like they say, that's not right, but that's okay. I add to that song. There's nothing I could do about it anyway. But now I can, and now I will. Yeah, we could say that I'm just a little bit more sincere about it than many of the people that come to America. And finally, if you will piss me off, I will hit you back. It doesn't matter really how big you are. With so many hyenas involved in this case from all over the world, I will still take my chance, even with the corruption at United Nations. I am not going to go into the night without any say. I'm not so patriotic, you know. I'm not so patriotic. I know how to choose the side. Huge drugs and weapons haul in French Polynesia. Kash Patel calls out line media. Yeah, we do have some internet posters or something like that. Oh, and this one here, it's again repeated. Accusations of Alexis Wilkins. It's absolutely, it's proper stuff. A lot of stuff that I have seen. A lot of stuff that I have seen pertains to even the time when he was elected. So we have people who somehow managed to republish the news. So the news can be seen in the mainstream media when you go through like this, through the Google. It can be seen, it can be surfaced right on the top. Of course, it doesn't have nothing to do with the Google algorithm, the stuff I'm talking about. Of course not. Standalone office in Wellington. There you go. FBI. There you go. Kash Patel. He explains everything about how a big difference he's making, a big man. Oh, yeah, it's all breaking. Kash Patel moves to indict Brennan Clapper, etc., etc. It's call me for seditious conspiracy, cannot escape, etc., etc. You see. So this is basically what we get once I publish the news like this. Yeah, it is important. It is important. It is important. What's happening to the deep state? I don't know. We have a Pam Bondi, Alina Habba, and Don Bongino. Spa girlfriend. And of course, don't forget, it's all happening in my head. I'm mentally ill. Oh, beautiful. This is what you get in America. This is, I'm using, it's Americans, you can see right there, my internet service address. Yeah. And in America, they don't even demonstrate my blog anymore. The AUSER Times, you cannot reach the AUSER Times anywhere. It's gone off the internet, I guess. And Kash Patel, of course, FBI had nothing to do with this, right? Because he doesn't know anything about me. He never was here. This is just a little mentally ill guy from Slovenia he is talking about, right? That's the way we do it. I don't know. I don't exist. I never existed anyways. I'm just a little mentally ill. This blog is super censored. This blog is so fucking censored. The beginnings of the blog trace though to 2016, and before that there were other blogs. I don't exist. Glory to Kash Patel. Kashyap for making derogatory complaint has been filed against the renowned filmmaker Anurag Kashyap for making derogatory. This guy was also involved in MK Ultra. What an interesting name, Kashyap. And not that this would remind of the Kash Patel, anything like that. So that's how we do it now, guys. This is what we have. Don't worry about it, Kash Patel. Don't worry about it. I got you, brother. See this here? That's you, pal. This. That's you. Don't worry about it. It's so good, man. I get you. You just gotta do the job. It's just a job you do. I get you. There is some people who exist, and then there is some other people who don't exist. And at times, American Constitution is a happy Hindu, and if it's not a happy Hindu, it's a happy black KKK, right? I took off the VPN here. As you see, I disconnected the ISP, and I am now again located locally here. So the feedback I get for the stuff I do, it's laughable, isn't it? That's what you call a laughable. Yes, of course. It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness. It's exactly the stuff I described right here went on. Just that you people know that in United States of America, if you are totally criminally, wrongfully fired, if you're thrown out on the street based on lies, false accusations, and even the guy who, I'm not going to put it this way, was making a threatening moves on me when he created the incident, he was armed. He was with a gun. You know what I mean? This actually is a very serious incident. I had people in America, neighbor, of the store where I was located in Miami downtown with my ex-wife. I had a security guy who worked next door coming inside of our store, pulling the gun, revolver, and pointing one at me. Inside of my store, inside of our store, security officer who worked there for many years and knew me very good. He walked inside of my store and pulled the gun on me. He did not go to the jail. You don't want to know about this case. You don't see nothing about this case, of course. Just as I explained right here, this is all mental illness. This is a case of mental illness. That's what this is. That's what this is. You see this here? This is what this here is. This is what this is. I'm mentally ill. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I understand. I totally get it. This is the way, this is your America. This is how you build. This is how you do the stuff, right? That's also how you send people on a rampage. Locally here you can be seen that AUSER times somehow exists. That's interesting. It's AUSER times here in Slovenia, but for Americans it doesn't exist. It's nowhere to be found. So, completely wiped from the internet. Of course, it has nothing to do with the Google algorithm, and of course, it doesn't have nothing to do with a new present FBI director boss. You guys are garbage, total garbage, total scam. And the world should know that your constitution is a fable, your fake fable system. Exactly for the way I described you on the blog. Today you're hiding behind the India. Yesterday you were hiding behind actually Obama was also hiding behind Martin Luther King. All true, he did not have nothing to do with Martin Luther King or with Nelson Mandela. Yeah, you're learning more and more criminal ways every single day. Every day that goes past, we are closer and closer to... Actually, the world is closer and closer to the truth about you as whole, as a nation, as a country. My views on America have changed profoundly. I don't see you guys anymore in the light I did. This blog, the numbers are totally depicting a fucking lie. Had nothing to do with the reality. The numbers of these blogs are much greater. This blog is severely downplayed when it comes to numbers of the videos as well as of the blog itself. Does not look good for you, not for me.